I'm in the shop super early this morning because I actually left my camera here, but besides that, I did want to come early. I need to refill some sealant in the Red Beast. I love that bike. When you have tubeless tires, you are supposed to check your sealant because if it dries out, then it's not going to self-seal. One of my good friends actually told me that you can take a zip tie and like dip it into the valve, almost like you're checking your oil in your car. And if it comes out with a little bit of sealant on it, then you should be okay. But if it comes out dry, you are supposed to pump more sealant in. It's been like 2 months, so every 2 months you are supposed to check it, pump a little sealant in, make sure everything's all good. Some of you may know that I've been talking about it post Ironman. My Ironman is in 1 month and 10 days now. I'll be heading to Florida to go get this done. Then after that, I have a plan to ride from New Jersey to Florida. It's about 1,100 miles. I'm planning on camping out and just basically bike packing. It's gonna be one amazing experience. I'm really, really excited for it. But I'm like looking at all these bikes, so I need like some crazy touring bike now. So like, it sucks that I did just buy the most beautiful bike in the world, which I do not want to get off of, but it's not gonna be the ideal bike for this situation. I need something that I can throw some big racks on, and apparently a steel frame is gonna be way better for this. It makes the ride more comfortable. I don't know, all these things I'm learning. I'm trying to figure it out, but like I need like a cool touring bike. So if anybody has any info on some nice touring bikes that I don't have to spend $1 million on, that would be super sick. So I've got my child in the stand now, and we just need to let all the air out. I'm a little remover. Oh. All right, well, judging by the fluid that I just had drip out, I think it's safe to say that there's still fluid in there. All done with the shop. Now I go home, get my workouts in, and show you guys how to make a bike table. And by the way, I just want to say congrats to me because this t-shirt I have kept white the longest out of any white t-shirt I've ever owned. One of my favorite shirts right here. On the next run, I've got 2 shirts coming out and 1 other product. If you could guess it, I'll even send you out the product. But it's gonna be coming out in like 2 weeks, right about then. And I will not be doing any white shirts. I promise. Because I cannot do a white t-shirt. All right, there it is. The original bike table. An old Raleigh Sprite with this giant table that I built. So I do want to slim it down. I want to change up the bike. And I'll show you exactly how I did it. I did this as a project a while ago because I got into like woodworking for a little bit. I had a lot of fun with it. And now I'm going to swap out the bike for a different bike and trim down the table because the table is just too big. So I want to make it a little bit smaller. I have a ridiculous amount of clothes on here. I know, it's a mess. I don't put away my clothes often. All right, so all pulled apart now. Now you can see the Raleigh Sprite that I was using. This is a woman's edition. Cool thing about this bike is it was from Bicycle World, which is my family's bike shop now, or what it originally was. So Bicycle World was there for 50 years or so. It was back in the 60s that it actually opened up. So the new bike I'm gonna be making into is a new Raleigh, a different Raleigh Sprite. And this one's a men's version, and this one was also purchased at Bicycle World. They're both very unique bikes, and the only difference that I really have to change on it is the height of it. So the height of the table was really, really high. I didn't like that. I wanted it a little bit lower. And also the mounting was kind of sketchy. So I do want to bolt into it a little bit better. This one I did use a seat. So I took an old seat off of it. Just took like the actual seat part and left just the frame of it. So then I just put 3 bolts through here into the table. Worked out pretty well. And then for the handlebar, I just put 1 bolt on each side through the handlebar into the table. So here's my table. It originally was these nice 3 planks of wood that I pinned together, glued them, sanded it down, painted, and put lacquer on. So like you can see where they were screwed in. So I just want to do it a little bit of a better option. To make the bike stay sturdy, what I ended up doing was I locked out the headset on. I locked out the wheels so they barely spin. And then I've got one of these cool bipod kickstands. This is an old one that I found. So you mount that up and then it's nice and sturdy. And then for the valve stems on the wheels, I actually took the tubes out of the tires and I just put normal nut and bolt in there. But the cool thing is that there's a nut and bolt on the other side under here as well, which I can actually fasten to raise each end of the bike up and down to make it a little bit flatter and more sturdy. For the front one, I just took this piece of metal that I found with some holes in it, screwed right through it, and put the same thing. So it kind of looks like a valve stem, but it's not. And then it keeps the bike from tipping over pretty well. Besides the table, you could basically grab a piece of plywood, paint it if you want to, and mount it up. This will probably end up costing you like, probably like 30 bucks. This table is approximately 28 inches wide. For these handlebars, they're about 20 inches. So I do want to make the table, so I am going to trim, I'll cut them at like 21 and a half. So basically once you have your table, now we start mounting up the bike. So first thing I'm gonna do is tighten the headset, the bearings on the wheels, and make sure everything's straight. And then we'll start leveling it out. I use this metal rod with one 3-inch bolt in it. Another one of those bolts with one extra nut on it. 6 of these. A tripod kickstand. That's about it. Let's put it on. Middle piece through. And then you just lock this nut up so it doesn't move. The inside one is actually tightening. Now we tighten that one down. Now it'll stop the bike from going back and forth. When that one's down, you have your kickstand down, and you tighten the inside one, which is now touching the ground. Stays nice and sturdy. Basically just have to make sure the table's level. I don't care if it sinks side to side, but level is key. So we gotta bring it down in the front a little bit. Cool. Everything's sturdy. Looks good. Now we just put the table on, find where to screw it in, go from there. So now that I have my first one, I just measure how far it's going to be. 2.5 inches. Now let's measure up the other handlebar, 2.5 inches, drop one. So I got the holes in the bar, I just lined the table up onto it. Easiest way to find the position is just drill up into the table. You'll be able to drill a hole a lot easier. Handlebars set, now we go through the seat. All done so. So that's how you make a roughly $30, depending on what platform you use, bike table. So instead of throwing away bikes, you can actually do some cool stuff with them. I'm pretty excited about it. I think it came out awesome. Table's alright. Maybe it's not that sturdy. Good enough for clothes though. Boom! I'm actually so hyped on this right now. There's so much more room for activities right now. that time. I need to go swim and kind of relax. One more swimming. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please go like, comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Go make the most of your today. Go make the most of your tomorrow. The time is now. Get stoked. We're gonna make it.